Up the ladder to the roof. There we are on the roof now, or next to it. Installed these solar panels myself, of course. 360 watts each panel, connected in series and parallel. There's also another panel there for the Caravan. Over here, one of the two security cameras, internet security cameras that I also installed myself, and I can view my land from anywhere on the planet, provided, of course, that there is an internet connection. That's the casita there, where I keep all my tools and stock. That way's up to the mountains, but you can't see them today because it's a lovely, cool, cloudy day. That's what it's like on a sunny day. I like that sort of weather because it gets very hot in Spain and most unpleasant. So I'd rather see it cloudy than be too hot, which it can be at this time of year. I take it you're good at reading. That's the way to the coast. 7 kilometres that way is where the local beach is. So it's very much like Wales in many ways when we lived at Bryn in Carmel. But instead of the slag heaps, we have that monstrosity over there, which is where they dump a lot of rubble and stuff. Walking towards the casita now. As you can see, there's a wall there. I raised the level of that land. All these boulders here, I dug out the ground from the next door land and heaved them over from there to here and raised the level of the land by about 18 inches with tons and tons of rocks and rubble. Because this area here, when I first moved here, was completely collapsed. And I could only just about get the motorhome onto this part of the land here. There was no gate there, of course. And I had about 6 inches either side of the motorhome to get in and out. All the gravel that you can see there and the landscaping I did with a wheelbarrow. And lorry came with tons and tons and tons of gravel, which I then laid down. A couple of extra panels there. I intend to put those in the flat when I get to it. That's where I put the bikes. This thing here unpacks and becomes a bike rack. So as you can see, I've done an immense amount of work, all on my own. The whole lot I built myself from just a patch of land. And that's the other internet security camera down there. Generator EM2800 PowerMate, very good generator, extremely well designed. I've had that several years now. I use it for additional power when I need it occasionally. It's 2.8 kilowatts. A second generator, by the way, it goes under there. That's a handle to it. That white panel lifts up out the way, and underneath it is the second generator. Now, that's a Honda generator and it's 900 watts. Okay, well that's it there. It fits underneath the seat, as I said, in the space that's available. It's a smaller generator, but it is ideal for mobile use when I go travelling in the motorhome. Although it's not as well designed as the PowerMate generator, it serves its purpose. And I'm making extreme cutbacks from my measly British state pension, going to great extremes to save up the money. You can read about that on Facebook, my current post, and that's where I'm going to put the shed. That's where I will then keep the bikes, because the problem is every time I go into, that's the water supply, by the way, the agricultural water supply that runs to the motorhome and also to the Caravan. and as I was saying, the problem is with keeping the bikes in here is every time I want to use the casita and get access to it, I've got to move the bikes out. So I mean that's a real drag. So that's why I'm going to get a shed. This is the casita. Strong security. Has 4 main locks and the door is extra thick. Inside is where I keep my e-bikes that I built myself and my stockroom and tools. I put the shelves up myself and everything is kept in there. That's the first e-bike that I built. I bought the actual bike about 15 years ago, so I had to completely dismantle it, change all the bearings and rebuild it, and then after that I fitted a Bafang motor kit. There's the motor there, and turned it into an e-bike. That's where the battery goes. I charged the battery up from my solar power. Dear, you stupid memory, you forgot to mention that you painted it as well and that you can run your stereo wireless speaker on it connected to the internet on this bike as well as the other one. Oh, well, I'll mention that then. This is the second bike. It's a better one. I built that this year. It's got suspension on it, and again it runs off a battery. The battery goes just there. It's got a speedometer and mileometer and so on, and I also can connect the phone up to it on here. Got the wiring for that, and I put my loudspeaker on there so that when I'm traveling I can listen to anything on YouTube or Radio Caravan or any of the free radio stations on the internet. I built the bike trailer from a supermarket trolley and got the wheels from a Rastro, which is the equivalent of a car boot in backward Britain. Don't forget, you forgot to mention that you bought it from a scrap metal merchant, otherwise they're going to think you stole it. Okay, inside the casita there is the third camera. That's just there. So if anyone does break in through the security, then I get an automatic notification to say someone's broken in. The Filipino flag, I definitely want to go back there and meet up with my friends again. When I bought the land, it was just a plot of land. It didn't have a fence around it. So I had to put the fence up and the gates myself, entirely on my own, without any help. I didn't manufacture the fence itself, but I've fitted it and designed it. It's got 4 gates to it altogether. That's a gate for parking a car now, and I can't afford a car, so there's no car park there. That's where the e-bikes are at the moment. And then that's the entrance by foot, and that's the main gate. It's a slide gate. It slides all the way along back over to there, leaving a gap, and then I can drive the motorhome out onto the road. That's when the motorhome's working, of course, which at the moment there's a big problem. It's off the road. The platform, that's my work area when I'm doing jobs. Then I use that platform to put things on. On this part here I use as a bench to do my jobs on, you know, such as angle grinding, drilling and so on. That's the other gate there, the 4th gate. That's the back door entry, or the back gate entry I should say. Now to the main accommodation, haha, as you would say. This is the motorhome, 25 years old. That's the sleeping quarters up there. That's the area where I have wash, shave, etc. You can also have a shower there. Kitchen. This is useful for making orange drinks. There's plenty of oranges that haven't been picked around here that can be made, that can be used to make orange squash, cooker, hob, that is. Oven, I never use the oven, so I don't like cooking. It's very clean. Printer, keyboard, I put over there like that because I don't like the farty little keyboard on the MacBook Air. There's my MacBook Air. And of course I've got the mobile iPhone in my hand, so of course I can't show you that. Microwave cooker. Lots of wiring all over the place. Loads and loads of it. That's one of the speakers I was mentioning. I can put that on the bike, or I can put that on the bike, but I can't put that on the bike or that on the bike. That is the battery that I charge up. I've got two of those. They charge up on solar power. That's for the bicycles, and the lithium batteries are underneath there. That powers a whole lot of everything, and that's a safe. And on top of that is the inverter. I think it's 2.5 kilowatts. It's plenty for my needs. On top of that, the black thing, that's the thing that charges up the battery to the bicycle. That's the MPPT solar charge controller. That's connected to the solar panels on the roof. Controls all the power to the motorhome and to the inverter and so on. Fuse box, wardrobe, gas fire, gas fridge. It's got the lot. Small is beautiful. And I did it my way. I just can't help it. Now for an excursion to the ensuite bedroom. There you are. That's the bedroom where I can sleep if I want, or if I have an important guest, they can sleep there. Lots of fans are necessary in the summer. Not using this at the moment. It's got its own fridge again, its own microwave, its own air conditioner. That's the old inverter that I bought years and years ago when I had the static Caravan in Bewdley. Still works. I have it. I can use the air conditioning in the motorhome as well. There's the air conditioner for here. That's the air conditioner for the motorhome, which I put it in here to get it out of the way, because I don't need to use it in the winter. Gas fire and cooker, hob and cooker, sink. It's got the lot. So it's basically a duplicate. The two things work together. So the main power is generated by the solar panels on the roof to the motorhome. That is connected to the Caravan also, that is independent solar power as well. So the two things are as one. And when I go away, which I do when the motorhome's working, and that's something I must get done, is to get the motorhome repaired. I've got my appeal about that, my fundraiser. I do hope that you will contribute to it, because I need the money, and I mean that. The two can be split. So the Caravan still has its own power, but the main power goes with the motorhome to wherever I go in the cool Pyrenees Mountains of the north. Now that has worked out extremely well, because the parking there is free, just like on my land. I don't have to pay to park there, so it's economically viable. And much cooler because it's near the border of France and it's very high up in altitude. I have a flat in Torrevieja, which is 150 kilometers or miles from here, my land. I couldn't afford to buy one in Pagos, but I got this very cheap flat in Torrevieja,
And that turned out to be a massive mistake. There have been many problems there over the 8 years that I've owned it, and I've hardly used it at all. I do want to go back there and install electricity, but again, the problem is I cannot get there because I've got no transport, and I have to be able to take things with me, such as the things that I normally keep in the motorhome in my belongings, and there's quite a lot of them. Well, enough to fill up a van to take down there with me. Of course, no transport makes it impossible. Numero 11, number 11. It isn't a registered address, by the way. That's just the number that I've given to it. Finally, and not least, I want to get back to the south of Spain, where I spent 4 months last year. 3.5 months I spent helping with the care of kittens and cats after they had been rescued from the streets of Conil, where they had been abandoned and left to starve and in poor conditions. I'm looking very much forward to meeting new friends there that I made last time and newer friends by going next time. But most of all, the help with the rescuing of the cats and kittens, which we are all there for. Now, to do that, I must have the motorhome on the road and working, so I can drive down there and park on the drive like I did last time. Now, to do that, I must have more income, and the income that I get from the state pension is, quite honestly, it's pathetic. It is far too little. So that is why I have set up 2 fundraisers. The 2 fundraisers are, the first one is so that I can get the income available to save it up from the fundraiser to get the motorhome working again. I also need to get a license, and a lot of other things need to be attended to as well to make it legal. There's a lot of corruption in Spain, and that's going to cost a lot of money in solicitors' fees to put right. But I am determined to get back to Conil, and I do need to have the money to do that from the fundraisers, especially the motorhome fundraiser, so I can actually go down there and help in my motorhome working from there. You can see I've achieved a tremendous amount in Spain. It's not as if I'm lazy or stupid, I just need some help, and I do hope that you can help. And then I can achieve even more.